Hello there, Jeff here.
And Morgan.
With the Bigshooterist channel. Thanks for tuning in.
And today we're going back to the basics and doing some black rifle maintenance. Stick around.
So today we're going back to the basics. A lot of the videos that we do are testing new firearms, new products that come out, shooting full auto stuff. You know that we deal with a lot of NFA stuff. But something I know from reading your comments is a lot of you have gotten interested in these semi-auto AR type variants, and a lot of you from the comments don't have a lot of experience or time in with them. So what we want to do is step back a little bit. We want to talk about just some of the basic stuff: disassembly, care, maintenance, troubleshooting, and get you in a position so you're out there enjoying these things as much as we are. Now this video will pertain to both gas piston guns and direct gas impingement guns. I've got a piston firearm, Morgan's got a direct gas impingement gun, and this will help us illustrate the differences and the similarities for you.
So after we've cleared out the chamber and made sure there was no ammo present, we separate the upper receiver from the lower receiver.
You're going to want to do that by pushing out the rear takedown pin, then pushing out the front takedown pin. And you can separate the two.
So the next step would be to remove the bolt carrier by pulling the charging handle slowly to the rear.
So we've got our charging handle and our bolt carriers. This is where things will be differentiated a little bit between the direct gas impingement, like Morgan's using, and the gas piston that I'm using. For all practical purposes on this one, at least for disassembly, Morgan's is all set, and we're going to move into the lower receiver. For the POF USA I'm using, we've got a little bit more disassembly. We have to take out the gas plug, remove the piston just by tipping it down, and then we remove the push rod. And at this point we can set both uppers aside and work on the lower receiver and the bolt carrier group. So we've pushed the lower receivers and the piston parts to the side for right now. Let's disassemble the bolt carrier group. This is really easy. The first thing that you do is remove the firing pin, retaining pin from the side of the bolt carrier. After that's removed, all you've got to do is tip the bolt carrier to the rear, and the firing pin will come right out. Once the firing pin's out, you can turn the cam pin and then pull it to the front. And then simply remove the bolt. Now there will be another difference you'll notice here between a gas piston gun and a direct gas impingement gun. If you look at Morgan's bolt, you'll notice gas rings in the back. The bolt for the piston unit has no gas rings because it's not important to have a gas seal in this area. It's simply being pushed mechanically. With the direct gas impingement gun like Morgan's, this portion of the bolt inside of the bolt carrier actually acts as an expansion area itself, and these gas rings are important to seal that for the gun to function properly. Next, we're going to remove the extractor. For this, you can actually use your firing pin as a tool. If you put pressure on top of the extractor, it's going to release the pressure on that pin. And as you saw with mine, by pushing down hard enough, it dropped right out. We didn't even need to use the firing pin to start pushing it through. If you have to force it out, then you want to put more pressure on the top of the extractor to help that pin come out nice and smooth. Once that pin's out, you can lift the extractor right up. At this point, you shouldn't have anything in the bolt. You'll have a spring and in my case I have a D ring that I'll explain in a little bit on the extractor itself. When you're cleaning these parts, you might find some common household things make it easy for you, and you might find some outside the box things make it easy for you as well. One thing you may want to do, whether you're involved with AR-15s or AK-47s or any type of firearms, is talk to your local dentist. Absolutely, your local dentist. Guns don't give you cavities, but if your dentist is anything like mine, he'll be receptive. They throw dental picks away once they get to a certain point. Dental picks are fantastic for reaching into small places and crevices, and it allows you to just wrap a small cloth around a dental pick, and you can get into parts of your gun that would never ever see the light of day otherwise. So dental picks are awesome. Toothbrushes. Toothbrushes are so awesome that they actually make a brush that looks like a toothbrush that's not a toothbrush. It's to clean your AR-15. And if you get an AR-15 cleaning kit, you're going to find a brush just like this in your kit. So these allow you to scrub everything away, get down into places again that you wouldn't be able to with just a cloth or with your finger. As well as the tools that you might have around your home or the outside the box things that you can find that are helpful, you can purchase kits for your gun. And they make numerous good kits for the Black Rifle platform, for the AR-15. You'll find special brushes, chamber brushes. This brush not only works well for the chamber, it works good for the bolt carrier. You can insert it into the carrier. The larger diameter of the brush cleans this larger area where the bolt goes. The smaller area goes all the way through the tail where the bolt pushes through. So you want to get the right tools for the job and get creative. Just find things that work. You know how to tell if a spot is clean or shiny, or if it isn't. If it isn't, keep working it over and make it clean and shiny. Once your parts are all clean and shiny, then it's time to reassemble them, and I found it helpful to lubricate them as you go. With Morgan's direct gas impingement bolt, one thing that you want to look for are these gas rings, and make sure that the slot in each of the 3 rings don't line up. I don't know as if I've ever had a problem with gas blowback because of that, but it's one of those things that was driven into my head years ago. It's just like the rings on a piston. You don't want to have them lined up. You want to make sure the slots are staggered. On the POF USA, there's no gas rings at all to mess with. So start reassembling the bolt. The first thing that you would do, let's step back one. Let's step back a little bit. One of the things that has become more common on the extractors is the use of an aid on the extractor spring. Now, my guns, I use the D ring, and I'll get a zoom in on this. This is the D ring, this is an O ring, and these will slide right over the spring in the extractor right here, and they'll give you a little bit more strength, in some cases a lot of strength, when it comes to the ability of the extractor to function. If you're using an O ring, you simply slide it right over the spring. If you're using a D ring, you slide it over the spring so the curved portion is towards the claw, and it will all make sense when you put it together. It'll only fit one way. The advantage I found in the D rings is they can't slip around like the O-ring can tend to, and there are several different durometer ratings of O-rings. The durometer of the D-ring is known and well tested. That's why I stick with the D-ring. You may be all set with the O-ring, I just use the D-rings. So when you put this back together, all you do is push it into place and put some pressure down on the rear of it and slide that pin right back through. Once it's lined up, it'll fit in nice and easy. Once the extractor is in, the next thing you want to do is reinsert the bolt into the bolt carrier. Simply slides in the front and it'll free spin. You want to rotate it if you're using a right-handed gun anyway. So looking at the face of it, the extractor is going to be somewhere around 10 o'clock. And you can see as you look down the back, it'll correspond with your ejection door. And you'll notice, looking through the top of it, there will then be a hole that you can drop your cam pin straight into. And then you can rotate the cam pin 45 degrees pull the bolt forward, and at that point, all you've got to do is drop your firing pin in. And your firing pin should drop freely, just like that. Once the firing pin's in, you replace the firing pin retention pin. Often it's a cotter pin, sometimes there are other types. Pushes right in through the side, and it corresponds with the hole on the other side. And you'll know you have it in far enough when it's past the point of being flush. Your charging handle, you want to clean that up like you did everything else. Toothbrush, that works good. If you have a direct gas impingement gun instead of a piston gun, there's going to be more carbon and more residue in all of these areas than if you have a piston gun. So it's important to get these nice and clean. So Morgan's is all set at this point. I've got 3 more parts to contend with because I've got the POF USA piston, I've got the op rod or the push rod, I've got the piston itself, and I've got the plug, the gas plug. So I'll clean these up, we'll grab the upper receivers, and we'll show you what to do there. So the upper receivers, you're going to clean your upper receiver very similar to the way that you clean that bolt carrier. And for this, you're going to need a brush. You're going to run that through your bore several times. What I typically do afterwards is take a very, very small cloth, very small cloth. I might even cut this in half, wrap it around the brush, and then I'm going to run that through afterwards. That's going to overexpand it a little bit. You want to take your time and do it slow, but you're really going to get into those grooves and you're going to get the material out. And if you use a carbon cutter or something like that at the same time, and you keep on running it until that cloth comes back clean, you're going to be good to go and a happy camper. Now, Morgan treats her gun like it's a child. I mean, she takes really nice care of hers. Mine not so much. This is a gun that's undergoing a long-term endurance test. I think this is the 2nd time I've cleaned it, and we're closer to 100,000 rounds being put through it than 50,000 rounds, so it almost feels sacrilegious to even clean this thing, but I needed a good piston example. So you want to clean your upper receiver, clean your barrel. You want to use this special brush that we showed you earlier that you can use with your bolt carrier to clean your barrel extension, and that's the area down inside the barrel where the locking lugs from your bolt engage. And the dental pick will also come in handy from getting all of that carbon and all of that mess away from there. And just clean it up until it looks sparkling and clean. It's very, very, very easy. So let's clean these all up and let's get them back together. So Morgan's got a light coat of lubricant on her internals. Mine, I'm running dry, and that's because the POF USA guns have this NP3 finish, and they actually bill them as maintenance and cleaning optional. So I'm going to opt out of lubricating this thing, and I'm going to put it back together dry. The first thing that you do, and this is with both of them, the direct gas impingement and the gas piston, is you're going to insert your charging handle, and you put it in the gun by hold an upward pressure, because there are 2 little dovetail areas right here, one on either side, and they're going to engage in that slot on the top. So put it in from the rear, hold steady pressure, and then it'll just lift to the top. And then you want to push it in a few more inches and it will sustain itself right there. With your bolt carrier, you want to make sure that your bolt is all the way forward. If you're not sure, just flick it forward and your bolt will be all the way forward. And then you insert that into the rear of the firearm and push it till it closes. And again, you shouldn't have to use any force whatsoever. Now, Morgan's is ready to roll. I've got to reintroduce the gas piston parts to mine. So we're going to put the op rod, the gas piston, and the gas plug.
So for the first thing that we're going to do on the lower receiver is remove the buffer and the buffer spring. By doing that, we're just going to take the tension off by pushing on the buffer. We're going to push that little pin down a little bit. Get my pin down.
Just like that, teacher?
Yes, just like that.
All right.
We
I'll
got
get
it.
a gold star on my refrigerator.
You can take the buffer and the buffer spring out. Good stuff. The buffer and the buffer spring can actually come apart. You wipe those down, make sure they're free of any debris.
that point, we're going to want to clean the inside of the tube to make sure there are no oils or materials inside of there. This is another one of those opportunities where that dental pick comes in handy if you don't have the right cleaning kit, because you can use paper towel, you can use ripped up old pillowcases or bed sheets or bath towels or anything that you clear with your wife ahead of time using. And then you use that dental pick or even a brush that has a surface like this that'll grab it afterwards to pull it back out. So you want to clean the inside of the tube. You want to wipe down the buffer spring and get all the surfaces there. Make sure that's nice and clean. And the buffer. You want to clean the buffer up real nice. Now, while we're working on the buffers, you'll notice there are numerous different types of buffers. Again, Morgan and I have two different ones. This is a standard buffer that comes with a 5.56 or a 223 rifle. Mine is not a standard buffer. I don't really have very much standard in this particular gun at all. This is the MGI rate reducing buffer. And while this is weighted, this one is weighted, but it's also spring loaded. And that helps to reduce the muzzle rise and the rate of fire. And the reason I use it in this particular gun is because the gas port erosion is so immense that she'd be revving up around 1,200 rounds a minute all the time if I didn't have this rate reducing buffer in it. So for me, and this particular gun, it works just right. So whatever your gun came with, that's probably what it's supposed to come with, but you do have other options. Just like this is a modular system with so many other calibers and accessories, even getting down into the buffer system, you have numerous choices. So once these parts are all clean and dried, you'll want to lightly relubricate your spring, a little bit of the surface area of your buffer, and at that point we can reassemble. The buffer just pushes into the spring. Again, with the hammer down, the spring is reinserted into the buffer tube, and it will ride right over the buffer retainer. And we're ready to go. Let's take a peek inside the fire control group and get these things making some noise like they were intended to be. All we've got left is the fire control group at this point, and maybe a quick cleaning inside the mag well to clean that all up. Obviously you'll clean your outside surfaces to make sure that it's clean, but since this is kind of a no tools video and a field maintenance video, we won't get into pulling the pins to actually pull the fire control group out. We'll do that at a different time. Now in this state, you've got a couple different options. You've got the toothbrushes, work very, very well to get in here and clean these parts up. The paint brushes, these things work fantastic to get down in here to clean everything up out of them. I had just mentioned to Morgan that I've used gun scrubber in the past, which is kind of a high pressure cleaner. Spray it in there really well, and it kind of swamps everything out. The only downside is that it completely eliminates any lubrication that was in there. So after it dries, you have to re-lubricate these parts. And Morgan brought up the canned air, like you'd use to clean a computer keyboard, and that would work very well too. So go ahead and get creative. Clean all of these interior parts the best that you can, and let's get the uppers on these lowers, start making some noise. And I think I heard something about an explosion. Did you? I guess she didn't. I guess she didn't.
I wish.
I should.
Thought we were just cleaning guns today, but if I get to blow something up, I'd be pretty happy.
Okay, let's put them together and make Morgan happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope that you enjoyed the video. I'm glad that you stopped by and that you stuck with us. If you're a new black rifle owner, I hope this will inspire you to get inside of your black rifle. There's nothing that mysterious about this system. Although it works very well, it's very easy and very straightforward to work with. If you have any questions, ask them down below the video too. So if you did enjoy it, please like it, share it with your friends in your vast social media network. You can go to bigshooterist.com or facebook.com/guntestvids, and you can find some of this real cool Big Shooterist gear that we wear in the videos on occasion. And until next time, have fun and be safe. Good to go?
Perfect.